Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another movie review. Recently I decided to watch Get the Gringo, which was written and directed by Mel Gibson, and of course I think the reason it didn't do so well is because because of Mel's past, and I still like Mel Gibson as an actor. Um, and personally I think he did a really excellent job in this movie, convincing. He played your typical, you know, rebel role, somebody that you wouldn't muck around with. Uh, in the beginning of the film, he's known as the driver. He doesn't really have a name, so to say. He's kind of persona non grata. Um, what happens is he and his associate have stolen $2 million plus, and they're heading over the border, and they're caught on the border itself, and they're put in this kind of odd prison known as the El Pueblito, and it's different than any prison he's been in before because this is a career man. He's burned his fingerprints off and all that, just like just like professional thieves do, and it's very intriguing because within the duration of the film, you discover that there's a young boy there who has a very rare blood type. Um, and he is the only one whose liver matches the patron's liver for a transplant, because the patron, the guy who runs El Pueblito, he he's sick. And he smokes, which to me is completely illogical, but he smokes, he drinks, um, and the little kid is very interesting because he wants revenge on this guy because his name's Javi. Javi killed his father. I almost wanted to quote Princess Bride, but I'm not going to do that. But it's a very interesting film and extremely well done, and there are some moments in it that are humorous in the way that they're executed. My favorite scene is the shootout at El Pueblito. It's probably one of the bloodier shootouts I've seen in film history. Um, Also, when the driver comes into the consulate's office and he's going to get the badge for the consulate so he can escape El Pueblito, he does so in a very surreptitious way. He comes with the umbrella, and Christina, the receptionist, escorts him in, and she asks him, well, why do you have an umbrella? And he says, well, dear, you never know when it might rain. And yeah, something very amusing happens later on. I'm not going to say what, but that's another one of my favorite parts of the film. And the little kid, you can't help but love him. He's kind of a brat, and he's sort of a kind of a rebel in and of himself, and he and the driver have a lot in common, strangely. But the driver really doesn't want anything to do with him because he's a kid. He doesn't want to be bothered with this kid's tomfoolery. But he learns later that this kid is very special, and he is a watcher of people, and he's very observant and astute. And through this, he's been able to figure out who's who, and who's in charge, and who has the power. And Javi is the one who has the power. Javi is the big kahuna. It's different than other films I've seen, and it's very interesting, and it's well executed, and it has a good storyline. And also, you learn more about the mother in the story as well, and that she works at Javi's casino, well, against her will, unfortunately. He takes care of her because of her boy and his rare blood type. Yeah, it's kind of like you scratch my back, I scratch yours sort of situation. Um, as far as movies go, I would possibly give this one a 3.5 5 out of 4. It's not the best film I've seen as far as action adventures go. I still dedicate that to 007 films as well as the Bourne Identity films and a few others that I've liked, like the Transporter, Transporter 2. Um, this this is pretty good though. It's not too terrible. Mel Gibson does a really good job, and he writes a great script, and it's one that you really get involved with later on, especially when the little boy is told to hide by his mother because Javi has come looking for him. And there's going to be a surgery, and he's going to die because, well, he's going to lose his liver in the process, and they'll go to Javi, but then something, a turnabout occurs, and I'm not going to say what happens in that particular instance, but the nurse from earlier, she plays a big role in it, and I won't say why or what or how, but it's really well executed, and it's actually something I found predictable, but it was still kind of a good enough twist that caught me off guard. Um, I really enjoyed this movie, and um, I'm not really sure if it got good reviews or bad reviews. It was never really released in cinemas. At least I don't think it was, but it was really well done. And through it, I was also able to brush up a little bit on my Spanish, which is really rusty. But I think in not too long, I should become bilingual. I'm hoping I can become bilingual because I know I have the potential. Um, I'm not really sure what else I wanted to talk about today. I actually wanted to do an update. Uh, I am currently reading Cloud Atlas, which is going to become a movie. I know why they had given it an R rating because there is a lot of cursing in it, and of course there's a lot of sex involved, violence. Um, I'm very intrigued to see how they will portray the different characters, how everything will be interconnected, and because that's the main uh, plot vehicle is interconnection. But I'll get into that later. I'm not quite finished with the book yet, and I'm not sure how it ends, but it's probably one of the better books I've read since The Life of Pi, which I did a review of earlier. Um, I am currently writing a story called Meadowlark. I will be writing a comedy called Gardner's Detective Agency, which is kind of a murder mystery. She finds a body in her her backyard, just kind of left there after she's been digging in her flower bed. There it is. And then she starts doing a little bit of digging her own, a little bit of detective work. And once she solves the case, which she does without any help or um, high-tech equipment, she decides to start poking her nose into more petty crimes around the neighborhood, and her neighbors start to get kind of annoyed with her, and she accidentally pokes her nose where it's not belonged, and she kind of gets herself involved with the wrong side of the mafia. Yeah. And the mob boss starts making threats and tells her to keep her nose to herself and not be so curious because curiosity killed the cat and all that. But let's see, what else am I writing? I am writing a crossover. It was actually the idea of Bright Star Angie who concocted this tale. I've written many an unusual fan fiction in my time, and this is probably the most unusual I've ever written. But concerning multiverse theory, in that kind of context, it could happen. But I think that it's called When Urkel Saved Mobius, but I think that it'll turn out to be one of our better collaborations, and I'll have it up on fanfiction, not fanfiction, yeah, fanfiction.net once it's completed. Excuse me. Uh, not really sure what else to say other than I can't believe it's already October. Um, it's one of my favorite times of the year. One time where I actually feel normal, if I can use that word. Um, I'm not really sure if normal is the correct term, but for lack of better terminology, I'll go ahead and use the term normal. But Halloween is the only time that I really feel like I belong. Yeah, the rest of the year I don't really feel that way. Well, maybe Christmas, but it's my favorite time of the year. Uh, mm, I don't know what else to say or what else to update you guys on because I've been so busy with work and school, and I've been doing really well in my class. I got a B. Well, I missed 4 out of the possible 64, so it's still an A. Yeah, it's an A. I was really happy I did well. I wonder which 4 questions I missed. Maybe when I get it back, I'll be able to go over that. Uh, I've been really busy trying to catch up with my series that I've been watching currently. I'm going to try watching Dexter for the first time because I've never watched it, but I think I'll enjoy it because I like psychological, mind-bending sorts of stories, like Walking Dead. Walking Dead has that kind of element to it. It's not a slasher where you know somebody's going to die at some point in time and everybody dies. It's, just like operas. Um, you know how they'll end. Everybody dies. Thanks for the spoiler alert, darn you. But it should be very intriguing, and I'm looking forward to watching it and seeing what I think of it. That's pretty much all I have to report on. And Get the Gringo was a really good film, and I really enjoyed it. Uh, so, um, not sure what I'll be doing this weekend or weeks to come. Cloud Atlas isn't out yet, so I have to wait until that comes out into cinemas. So I will be doing a review of that once it's out on the silver screen. So pretty much that's about it. So until next time, I shall see you and live long, prosper, blessings, and all that jazz. Ciao.